Aloha, and welcome to Class 2 of Birthing My Next Me. And this class I am calling Faith Lift, because I think we could all use a good boost of faith right now. So I want to formally just apologize for canceling our class on Friday. That was a little bit difficult for me to do, and I was unsure whether to cancel or not, and I made the decision, and given the fact that we had that 6.9 earthquake yesterday afternoon, I'm glad that I did cancel it. And I decided that there was no time like the present to gather. And I'm just imagining that all of you are going through a journey right now, the journey of getting out of the box, the journey of birthing the next part of you, the journey of dealing with the unknown, with the lava flow, just this journey. And so I thought it would be useful to gather, and I'm not sure when we will gather in person. So I thought I would get this recorded. And I figured that each of you could listen to this in the timing that works for you. And I guess my intention is that this is our class 2. And I'll let you know if we decide to have another class in person. It kind of just depends on how things flow. So you can just stay tuned on that. And for this time together, it's important just to be in a distraction-free place. And you might want to have some water nearby. And maybe even a pen and some paper or a journal, so you can reflect and write down any notes from what I'm saying. So I invite you to get comfortable and present. So I think that we'll begin with a grounding meditation, just to come together and get present and allow you some space and time to slow down and get into your body. So I invite you to get into a comfortable position. If you're sitting, just feeling your feet on the ground, allowing your spine to elongate. Or maybe you're lying down listening to this. Whatever your position is, see if you can find yourself in a comfortable position. And I invite you to close your outer eyes and tune in to your inner eye. And bringing your focus and attention to your breath. Our dear companion in life, our breath. And perhaps for this grounding meditation, you want to put one hand over your heart and one hand on your belly. This gives us the opportunity to tune inside. And again, you can just feel that pull going down into the earth, underneath your feet, going down through the floor into Mother Earth, and imagining a cord, a red cord going down from your pelvis, from your spine, through the layers of the earth, down to the middle of the earth, to the core, where it's tied around the center. And you can feel that anchor, that rootedness. And perhaps you can even imagine the root chakra, the red color, imagining the lava below you, feeling that fire, that energy, that primal energy below you, and just allowing it, breathing it in, allowing yourself to slow down. Feeling your heart beat. And feeling that opposite pull going up through your spine, up to the sky. Feeling that opposite pull. Maybe even opening up your head and imagining the connection above to the divine. Allowing the light, the golden light from above to shower down upon you, giving you a blessing. Feeling the rays, the energy from above permeating your skin, showering you. Allowing yourself to receive. And just finding that place within where you can connect. Giving thanks for showing up today. Giving thanks for all you have accomplished so far. And let's take 3 deep breaths together. Conscious in-breaths and exhale. On the first in-breath and exhale, you want to just be letting go of the past. Anything that came before this time together, anything that happened earlier today, anything that happened yesterday, the day before, last week, last month, last year, just breathing in and out the past. And then as you're taking in your next second conscious inhale and exhale, you're going to be releasing anything that's going to happen after this class, after our time together, later tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Just breathing in and releasing out the future. And on our third, final, conscious inhale and exhale, allowing yourself to breathe into the present moment, into the here and now. And with that, you can open up your eyes and join me again. So welcome. Again, welcome to our second class. And just a little bit of review to remind you what we have done so far. I've been speaking about the Trinity of love, which is kind of a little bit of a structure for us in our 3 sessions together. Last time, the first time that we all gathered together, we were focused on the foundation of self-love, the roots, or in the Trinity of love, it is self-love. And we spoke about the different gates to self-love. And we spoke about the tree of self-love. So hopefully for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you've been focused on a different branch of self-love. You've been doing practices that are helping you to connect, and feeling the value of what it's like to take your love and focus it on yourself in a way that is nurturing you and not in a way that is selfish or narcissistic. Really, self-love is a necessity, and it's the foundation for each of us to be whole beings. So if we were all in person, I would have each of you check in with your name and how you're feeling. And I was also wanting to harvest some of the gold about just to reflect on what's been coming up for each of you over the last few weeks. And I've been really grateful to have met with many of you in our private one-on-one sessions and have really enjoyed working with you and delving into each of your individual processes. So I just want to encourage you right now to kind of take a moment to reflect on your journey so far, and maybe see if you can just take a moment to pause and notice what tools you've been using over the last few weeks. And it might be nice to just kind of jot that down to remind yourself, well, I've been doing this, or this has been new. So I'd love to have you reflect on what is new for you and what tools have you been using since our last time together. And if there is a particular practice that has really helped you, I'd love for you just to write that down. And perhaps when we get together again in person, we'll share that. But I'd just like to offer you a moment to reflect on what you've noticed so far in your process, what tools you have been using, and so those main things. Just take a pause for you to write that down. And of course, since this is a recording, you can always just pause the recording and take as long as you want. But I will give you just a moment right here to contemplate that. Okay, so let's move forward together. And this week's class is really focusing on, in the Trinity of Love, we have the self-love as the foundation, and at the top, we have divine love. So that's really where we're going to focus today, is we're going to focus on each of our relationship to divine love. Now, before I go into the concept and the teachings around divine love and each of our connection to divine love, I want to talk about another concept that I think is just kind of important languaging for all of us. And what it is that, and a lot of the teaching in this specific teaching that I'm going to transmit right now. It does come from Christina Rilo and from the Path of Self-Love, and it comes from, specifically this teaching comes from her book, Choosing Me Before We. So I just want to give credit to her since she's my teacher and mentor. So there's a teaching about how when each of us are born, we are born pure, whole, full of love, and we're innocent and just full of potential and possibility. And when you think of a baby, whether it's one that you've birthed or an animal baby, a puppy or a kitten, or just any baby that you've ever experienced, there is so much potential in the baby, so much innocence, so much purity. It's just the most precious state. And I'm sure all of you have experienced that. And so within all of us, there is that state. And what happens in life is that our heart, when we're born, our heart is just full and pure and whole. And as we go through childhood, as we go through life, different situations and different experiences happen. And all of us at some point in time experience some experience of either separation or disconnection or hurt or wound. And Christina Rilo calls this a love crack. And I was thinking about love cracks, and I was thinking about how symbolic it is, especially as we're watching the cracks appear in our earth in Leilani right now, literally, that the earth is cracking, and they call them fissures. And so on the big picture, there's our pure earth that has earthquakes and has these cracks. So on the macrocosm of life, that's what happens to earth. And then inside each of us, as we go through our life, we also get these cracks or these fissures inside of us from past experiences. And so I know each of us have a wealth of stories and experiences about how these cracks got made. And basically, what the cracks represent is the time in our lives when each of us went from a state of love into a state of fear. And so our job as human beings is to recognize and acknowledge that the fear state, and to be able to transmit it and get back into the love state. So that picture, I just wanted to kind of I wanted to bring a voice to the fact that we all have love cracks and that it is a part of life. And I just wanted to kind of name it and call it and just bring that into the consciousness of our circle. Okay, so I realize I could go on and on about the love cracks, and I don't have a lot of time to do that now, but I want to just hit a couple points. One point is that when our love crack is first formed, that's when the inner mean girl comes in, and she comes in to protect us, to keep us safe, and to protect us from getting hurt. So what we're doing, and we've been kind of talking about these love cracks individually. When I worked with you, each of you, some were addressing some of the love cracks that were coming up for you. And what we're attempting to do in this course is to alchemize each of our love cracks, whether it's in our relationship to ourself, the crack of like how I'm speaking to myself, or the negative self-talk, or the criticism that I have, or it may be in relationship to the divine, when I lost trust of the divine because something bad happened in my life, or the other aspect where fear comes into our love cracks is in our relationships. And we'll focus on that in our next class. But I just wanted to also give you just a little bit of information to help you delve into kind of acknowledging and defining what your love cracks are. So I'm just going to give you 6 major sources of love cracks. And each of us have these, and this is something that you can reflect on, and you can probably relate to these. So I'm just going to name the 6 different sources of love cracks. One is when people have hurt you, whether it's a relative, a friend, a stranger, a teacher, kids at school, co-workers, where they have let you down, criticized you, rejected you, embarrassed you, betrayed you, or taken advantage of you. So that's one source, where people have hurt you. Another source, the second source, is where your self-expression was made wrong, where you were either blamed or shamed, or there was judgment or criticism, instead of you being received in love. So that's another place that a love crack can come in, is through our self-expression, whether it's talking or writing or singing or performing. Sometimes a crack gets set in. A third source is when a big shift happens. And this could be happy or sad. It's in your life. And what happens is it makes you feel unsafe and vulnerable and out of control. So this big shift that might be happening, we might be able to all relate to that with the lava flow right now, with the earthquake. This kind of falls into that category. The fourth one is where there isn't enough. This is a source where you've experienced that there's not enough money, enough love, enough of something that you needed and wanted, and your survival or emotional or physical safety was compromised. So that's the fourth source of our love cracks. And the fifth one is feeling unsafe and unloved. So people who were supposed to protect you and love you unconditionally instead criticized you and pressured or hurt you. So that's a fifth source. And the sixth one is just not feeling good enough, where you didn't measure up, like you were thinking that you did a bad job, or like you were going to get left behind. So I just wanted to note those for you, and you're welcome to reflect on those and just identify where your love cracks are. And you're welcome to maybe on a piece of paper draw a heart, and then you can put in, you can draw the cracks that you've experienced. And you might want to just take some time and pause this recording and just kind of think back over your life, and just bringing consciousness to when the cracks occurred. And we all have them, and we're not going to make them go away. But what we are going to do is we're going to bring love into our cracks. And so we're going to shift gears some. We're going to move from the love cracks, and we're going to just move in. Oh, and I was also just related to these, I'm also just going to name the common fears that come in. Sorry, had one more thing on my agenda here to just notice. So we're bringing up the topic of fear, because that's what happens when we have a crack. And so I just wanted to also just name what common fears we often have. And you can kind of just note for yourself which fears you identify, which fears are up for you right now in life. So I'm going to name a bunch of fears. You can write them down, and then you can kind of notice which ones are up for you right now. So these are common fears that each of us experience. So the fear of abandonment, disappointment of self or another, loneliness, not fulfilling one's life purpose, rejection, the fear of losing what you love, the fear of being alone, the fear of failure, the fear of not being enough, the fear of not having enough, the fear of vulnerability, and the fear of being a fraud. So you can just kind of check in with those particular fears and see which one is alive for you. Of course, we're not going to stay stuck there. Just want to kind of identify it. And what we're doing, like I said, is we want to heal our love cracks. And it is a process of choosing in the moment that when that love crack gets triggered or flares up or erupts, that what we do is choose love versus fear. And so that's what we've been doing in the private sessions, and tapping is a really great way to shift the fear to love. And we're going to do some other methods with that today. Okay, so for this class, we're really going to tune into our connection to the divine, to the divine love. And each of us have a different relationship to the divine, to our spirituality. And we're going to get to explore that today, and hopefully release some of the fears and bring some more love into our relationship with the divine. I want to just talk about, just like I've been talking about the Trinity of love, so the self-love and our love with the divine, and then also other love. Within, there's something that we call divine mother love. And, or there's something called mother love, basically. And we can each source mother love just like the Trinity of love. For instance, we can source the divine, we can source the mother love from ourselves. So within each of us, we can just take a moment to connect to the archetype of the mother within each of us. And each of us can source and find that love that we have for each of us, which is really our self-love, that mother love that we have for ourselves. And then there is the divine mother love, the big mother, and our connection to source in a big way. And then we can also find a connection to mother love from other people. So we're going to focus on the divine mother love. And this is really receiving love from our connection through the divine feminine, in which one has a sense that they are being embraced and held by the great mother, she who can hold us in our deepest fears and love crack and soothe us. So this is a spiritual relationship that until you experience it for yourself, it can be difficult to guide others on. It's connected with the awakening and increasing focus of the feminine in our culture. And you'll find that many who are seeking the feminine or who have mother wounds is a part of this shift occurring through each of us individually and as a collective. So I'm sure each of you have your own experience to the divine and to this mother love, and it's really what we're going to focus on today. And another way to kind of tune into it is really just to kind of focus, to tune into your seventh chakra, because our seventh chakra is really that portal, that opening to the divine. One of my teachers refers to, her name is Carol Tuttle, and she talks about the weaknesses that we experience when our crown chakra is not opened up, that there's certain experience that you have, and partly it's based on fear, but you know that your crown chakra is weak or closed, she says, when you feel little or no connection to your higher power, and you always feel alone. So it's that disconnected feeling, and maybe you feel unworthy of spiritual help or angry that your higher power has abandoned you. And sometimes people suffer from migraines and headaches. So that's what she says is kind of the qualities of what it's like to have a closed seventh chakra. And I'm sure each of you have moments when you feel distrust or lack of faith. And so what we're going to do today is to strengthen and to open up our seventh chakra so that we can each feel connected and feel a sense of gratitude and appreciation. And some of us have been impacted by different stories or different decisions that we've had that affect our chakras. So our first chakra has to do with security and safety. And so if I'm struggling with my sense of security and survival, it affects how I look out on the world. And so when I'm in a place of fear, or when my first chakra is closed off, when I'm in a place of survival, it's very difficult to be open to the divine. So I'm just kind of acknowledging that the way that we look at the universe and God is also impacted by the way we are rooted and connected to Mother Earth. And so hopefully you've established some good grounding tools to help you to connect to Mother Earth and to yourself, and that some of what we've done together has allowed some opening. So what I'd like us to do now is to just tune in right now to where you are in terms of your faith, in terms of how much you are trusting the universe. And you can tune in specifically. We've got this great opportunity with the lava flow right now, because I very much noticed that there is almost like a division going on in people's attitudes, that some people I'm noticing are very, very fearful, and that their decisions are coming from fear, and that other people tend to be more grateful or more faithful. And so I'd like for you to just kind of gauge right now in terms of where you are in your life. And it could be in terms of the outside, what's happening with the lava flow, or whatever's coming up in your life, in what you're birthing right now. I just want you to kind of tune into the level of faith you have right now. And here are some questions that you can ask yourself. How open are you to new ideas? And let's just use a scale from, like we do in tapping, we'll use a scale from 1 to 10. And we'll say that 10 is being, fully open and full of faith. And 0 or 1 is being full of fear and not being open, being closed. So you just want to kind of rate yourself before we do anything about your level of faith right now, because this is a faith lift. So again, how open are you to new ideas? 1. Do you believe you have always existed? And just checking in with yourself about that and rating it from 1 to 10. How deeply do you believe you are to blame? And how deeply do you believe you are guided by a higher power? And when did you have or ever felt the presence of your higher power, and how much did you believe it? So these are just some questions to ask to kind of just gauge where your faith is right now. And I'll just give you a pause, and if you could just kind of measure, okay, and answer this question. My faith right now is at a, and give a number for that. And so 10 is I'm full of faith. I have no fear. 0 is I am no faith, the opposite. And you can just pause and write that down, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to release some of the fear from our 7th chakra. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use this releasing tool, and I'm going to give you two choices of how to do it. So one is, and so you can experiment. I'm going to give you two choices. So one is a releasing gesture that you're going to do on your crown chakra, the top of your head. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your fist and you're going to put it on the top of your crown chakra, and which is just the top of your head. And while you're rotating your fist, you're going to rotate your fist in a counterclockwise direction. So I'm just going to and so it's like if you imagine a clock is on the top of your head, and here I just have to imagine for myself which way is counterclockwise. So here is the clock, and I'm going around the clock, and I'm going to go counterclockwise. So you just have to find the clock on your head, and then you're going to bring your head, and you're going to be doing it like this. So that's one opportunity that you can do, is that while we're releasing these words that I'm going to say, then you could be doing that on the top of your head, going in a counterclockwise position. So it's a little bit hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. So I'm going to let you figure that out. That's one option. Or for the releasing, since tapping is a really good way to release things, you can tap. So I'm going to do the tapping. If you want to do the other one, the releasing on the top of the head, you can. And you're just going to repeat after me. So releasing the breakdown in spiritual connection. So you're saying this out loud after me. Releasing lack of faith. Releasing lack of connection with my inner being. Releasing deep stress. Releasing spiritual confusion. Releasing not trusting God. Releasing that I have to give up money to be true to my spiritual path. Releasing the lack of spiritual guidance. Releasing being cut off from my inner guidance. Releasing lack of trust. Releasing lack of devotion. Releasing lack of life force. Releasing negative thoughts. I'm releasing this from every cell. Releasing. I'm releasing shutting down my higher self. I'm releasing blocking my essence. Releasing deep inner sadness. Releasing a loss of balance and harmony. Releasing lack of faith. Releasing out of contact with my core self. Releasing no inspiration. Releasing hiding inside. Releasing disharmony. Releasing low self-esteem. Releasing being cut off from divine source. releasing lack of stillness, releasing disbelief, releasing spiritual abandonment, releasing feeling unprotected, releasing feeling easily offended, releasing feeling disconnected from God, releasing feeling angry at God, releasing feeling unworthy of help, releasing being overlooked by God, releasing angels don't help me. So letting go of fear of exposing myself, letting go of loveless, letting go that the world is too painful to endure, letting go money is a lower chakra experience, letting go it's not spiritual to have a lot of money, letting go it's not okay to profit from your spiritual gifts, letting go of money is evil, letting go of money is of the world. So I'm letting go of the lies and the illusions I have been telling myself. I let it go. I release it once and for all. Releasing it from every cell in my body. Letting it all go. So just take a few deep breaths and breathe it out once and for all. Letting it go from all of your chakras and energy centers. Just letting it go completely. All right, and just, notice how your body feels to release that. And just notice what's going on. And what we're going to do now just checking here. I have two different eyes. I'm not going to leave you here. We're definitely going to after we release, we want to bring back in. And so we're going to follow that. But before we go into what we're going to bring in, I'm just going to lead you in a short little visualization. And so you can get comfortable. And if you like, you can just close your eyes for a moment. This is just a good time to pause. And I want you to see yourself right now with a crown on you. Imagining a queen with a beautiful, beautiful crown, and just allowing yourself to feel the crown on top of your head. And you can think of this crown as having little spikes going up. And that this reflects the way that energy shoots up and is meant to be. It's noble. your energy to your true self, to God, to your beginnings. And so just as your eyes are closed and you're imagining this crown on your head, and you've been wearing this crown all of your life, but somehow you just never noticed it. So imagine now that you can just look in a mirror and see yourself with the crown. There you are, seeing that beautiful crown that you have. And you say, wow, I've got this really awesome crown on. And maybe it has a few colors on it and some jewels in it. And so just notice if it's gold or silver or metal or what it's made of. Maybe there's feathers there, whatever it is, just notice the detail. It's really unique and special to you. And you can imagine your significant other, if you have one, and how they have a crown on too. And notice they are the same energy connection. And you can imagine your children in your life with their crowns on and recognizing their nobility. And just imagine that the crown being on whenever you're feeling out of touch with yourself and some sense of worthlessness, or you're feeling less than, or you're running that old program. Just imagine that that crown, that you can crown yourself with gratitude, and that it is your origin, and you're meant to come to know yourself in this experience. And so you can just open your eyes now. And look around the room and see if you're noticing the colors, if maybe there's some more richness to the colors. Okay. And we're going to do just one other energy exercise just to kind of lock that in place, that we're just kind of opening up our crown chakra. So this is an energy exercise that comes from Donna Eden in the energy medicine book. And it's called the crown pull. And so what you're going to do is you're going to place your fingertips on the center of your forehead. And you're just going to pull it open. You're pulling your crown, and you call this, so it's just the crown pull. You're opening up your seventh chakra. And what you're going to do is just pulling down, and then you're going to go to the next spot on your head and pull it down. And just keep doing this, taking a little bit of time, pulling down, and go all the way around the back of your head. So you're pulling this down and just going all the way down, feeling it, and going to the back of your neck. And just taking deep breaths as you're pulling this, going from the head, down your head, to the back. And you can take as long as you want. But it just feels so good to open up the crown chakra. You can just feel the energy pulsating around. And again, if you want to take more time with doing this crown pull, you can pause this. Now we're going to move on to continuing to open up that seventh chakra. And so this time, if you were doing the fist, you can do it again, but this time you're going to go in the clockwise direction. So you're just imagining your hand on the top of your head like it's a clock, and this time you're going around in the clockwise direction. And we're going to be saying these things out loud. So you can do that, continue, and just repeat after me, or you can do the tapping. And you're also welcome to tap through the points if you'd rather just cover more points. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on this because it's easier for me. So here we go. You're going to repeat after me. Thank you, God. I am connected to my higher self. I am important to God. I am listening to my true self. I am receiving inspiration. I am seeing my true self. I am hearing my inner voice. I am extremely positive with myself. I am discernment. I am free of outside influences. I am able to reach my higher potential. I am deserving. I am speaking my highest truth. Letting it in, opening the crown chakra. I am perfect just as God created me. I am seeing the higher self of others. I am good enough to be me. I am comfortable here in my body. I am my spiritual truth. I am experiencing God there for me. I am important to God. I am acting on my truth. Thank you, God. I am worth it. I am connected with the higher purpose of money. I am attracting money through my higher chakras. I am in integrity when I profit from my gifts. I am living my purpose and thriving. I am using my wealth to make a difference. I am guided by spirit in my affluence. I exist. I have a life. I have a future. I am deserving. I am intuition. I am being. I am safe to change. I am received by others. My truth is heard. I am comfortable voicing my truth. I am attracting others that respect my light. I am occupying my space. I am assisted by the angels. I am led by God. I am one with the universe. I am here to make a difference. I am letting my light shine. I breathe this into every cell, turning on more truth and light in the 7th chakra, clearing and energizing the 7th chakra. I am grateful. My 7th chakra is now clear and balanced, helping me create a better life. Yes. So you can pause, taking some deep breaths and maybe drinking some water. And you just want to notice what you notice. Notice how your body feels. And let's have you check back into your faith level, that number that you had before. And just noticing how trusting you feel, noticing how open you might feel, how expanded you are right now. And I'm imagining you're probably feeling pretty opened up. And yet there may be some thoughts or experiences that are percolating to your surface, to your mind. And this might be a good time just to reflect on it. And I also have another tapping script that I'm just going to introduce to you right now. And maybe it will be appropriate for you now, and or maybe it'll be useful in the future. So this comes from another one of my teachers in the tapping world, and her name is Margaret Lynch. And she wrote a book. I'm just looking to see. Oh, yes. This book came from it came from a book called The 7 Levels of Wealth Manifestation, and it's by Margaret Lynch and also a man named Rhys Thomas. And yeah, I just thought that this would be really appropriate. And she talks about how we make vows, basically decisions from our life. And so basically, like that concept I was talking about the love cracks, when we had a crack when we were young, we made certain decisions about things that she calls vows. And so those vows, or those beliefs that we created inside ourselves, may not be serving us anymore. And so this particular tapping script is a way to help us, move beyond or change those vows. And the particular vows that many of us have that are related to the 7th chakra is like a vow, I believe in limitation, or that people are limited, or I don't trust God, or God is limited in a particular way. And so we're just going to really specifically address those vows and clear them. So I have just a short tapping script that I'd like for you to follow along. And this, again, is call and response. So we're going to begin on the side of the hand on the karate chop. And you can repeat after me. Even though I have all these vows, in my 6th chakra, to filter the world through my fears, I forgive myself for that. And even though I have all these vows in my 7th chakra about limitation, even when it comes to the divine, I'm going to forgive myself so that I can be open to a whole new unfolding. I am open to seeing the world as brand new and fresh in every moment, which is how it really is. The same thing never happens twice. I'm open to seeing miracles unfolding. Knowing that they come sorry, knowing that they come from far off my radar. It's just below the chest, sorry. Unfolding in every moment. I'm open to seeing the divinity. In every so-called mistake that I've made, that others have made. I'm open to seeing the infinite possibility. Wide and expansive in every moment. I'm going to skip that point. Miracles are lining up to support me in the most unexpected ways. I cannot see how that could be possible, but I'm only looking at a postage stamp. There is so much off my radar. And I'm keeping my sixth chakra open to watch it unfold. From far off my radar, from the divine unmanifest, until its curiosity explodes into view, blossoms on my radar. And I'm going to say, wow, look at that miracle unfolding. It's growing from an acorn into a tree, right before my own eyes. I'm open to seeing miracles unfolding around me, to feeling safe and divinely held in this world, beyond this world, by the divine. The safer I feel, the more I see. Infinite possibility. I'm totally open to this work rising up inside me, creating change all the way up and down my chakras as I adopt an attitude of miracles, of infinite possibility, and I allow the divine to work through me so I can hold the miracle for other people. I can carry this energy for other people too. And that would be a miracle. All right, so pause and just take that into your body, just breathing, taking a few deep breaths, and maybe some water. I'd love to hear from you about any of these tapping scripts or any of the things that I'm sharing with you today about what worked and what didn't work. And I'd just love to know how it impacts you. That would be really fulfilling for me. So please feel free to drop me an email and let me know what's coming up for you, what's alive for you. So what I'd like to do next, and this is going to be probably the last exercise that we're going to do in this class together, is a visualization. and this visualization and meditation. So I invite you in this exercise to maybe even lie down to get really, really comfortable, or you can stay seated. But the main thing is that I really want you to be in a comfortable position. Yeah, okay. So I invite you to be as relaxed as you can. And perhaps you want to put your hand on your heart and your belly, which is just kind of like the body's way of connecting to your inner wisdom. And I'm just inviting you to breathe, to relax, to close your eyes. And just tuning into this journey that you are in life. Maybe calling upon that box that you found yourself in and just seeing the shape of that box that you found yourself in, noticing the constraints, the names, the labels, the constriction, the restriction, the tension, the pressure that you feel from that box, from the labels, from all the pressure that you've put on yourself, that you've been limiting yourself in. And this is just an opportunity right now, in your own timing, to allow yourself to receive right now. I am handing you each a magic wand. And so I just invite you to receive this magic wand. We are exercising our ability to pretend right now. And to pretend is to have something before. Tend is to have and pre is before. So everything gets created in our mind first. So right now, I'm inviting you to pretend and to put aside any of those doubts, worries, and fears, and just really to be playful with me. So here's a magic wand. It can be as colorful as you want, as it could be made of wood, it could be made of crystals, feathers. I just want you to feel that magic wand. What is your magic wand like? How big is it? How small it is? This is your magic wand. And just feeling it, and perhaps you're still inside of your box. I want you to know that what makes this magic wand magical is that wherever you wave it and whatever you wave it on, you are successful. So it is so powerful, this magic wand. I want you to just really, really, really feel the magicness of it. And perhaps as you're holding your magic wand, you can call upon that crown that you visualized earlier. And so there you are in your sovereignty and your power with your crown on. And your seventh chakra is opened up. You're full of possibility. You've got your magic wand. And perhaps you're in your box right now. No matter. Because this magic wand, wherever you wave it, whatever you wave it on, will become true. So I want you to just to imagine in front of you is a field of possibilities. And in this field, there happens to be a bubble. And you're looking at this and you're waving your magic wand. And there's a knowingness that inside this bubble is your future success, your future dream reality. This is you when you have birthed yourself into the next stage of your life. This is your next chapter. This is all that you are creating, and this is in the future. And so you're just waving your magic wand at this bubble that's like a soap bubble that's coming out of the ground, and it's expanding and expanding, and it's out in the distance, and right now you can't see inside of it. You have to get from your box to the field to the bubble. So however it is that you want to allow yourself to get out of the box, maybe using your magic wand to help you be lifted, perhaps you fly, perhaps there's an explosion getting out of the box, perhaps there's a door that you can, but somehow you are going to find yourself out of this box, into the field, going closer to this magical bubble that contains your future life. So just taking a few moments to allow yourself to somehow get out of that box, walk forward with your wand, come up to this bubble, and pause. And here you are, out of the box, in front of this bubble representing your future. And you're just going to take a pause. And as you're going to wave that wand there, and as you're pausing, you notice in front of you that there's a door on the bubble. And as you pause and you wave your wand, boom, out of the sky, drops into your hand a key. All of a sudden, you've got your magic wand in one hand and you've got this key in your other hand. And you turn the key over and you notice that there are 9 letters on this key. And it spells the word gratitude. And this is your key right now in this moment. And you take it close to your heart. And you take a moment to pause and to give gratitude for all that's happened so far, that's brought you to this precipice. Giving thanks right now for your past relationships, giving thanks for your cracks, your love cracks, giving thanks for all the different experiences that you have had to lead you up to this point. Giving thanks for whatever that big trigger was that even brought you into this class. Giving thanks for the volcano, the lava flow. Giving thanks for it all right here, right now, as you pause. And now you have the key in one hand and the magic wand in another. Take that magic wand and wave it one more time to the bubble. And then take your key and put it in the door. Unlock this door and allow yourself to open the door and walk inside to your magic dream reality bubble. This is your life at the end of the year in 6 months. And you're closing the door, and then you're going to walk inside to your dream reality success love bubble. Here you are inside it. The door is closed, and I want you to take out a little handy dandy eraser from your pocket and erase the door so that you can be enveloped in this success bubble, this love bubble. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to explore this bubble. I want you to notice what you look like. What has changed in 6 months' time? This is your future. You have birthed the next version of you. And I just want you to notice, what is the expression on your face? If there was a mirror, if you could take a photo shot of you, what would be different? Is there a smile? Does your body look different? What do you physically look like? And where are you? And just noticing the physical environment around you, noticing any of the structures or the environment, noticing who you're with. And so you're just visually taking an inventory of what your success looks like, what your love looks like in terms of your relationship to yourself, in relationship to others, in relationship to your work, to whatever it is. And just noticing visually what is there. Maybe a color, different objects, maybe the structures or the environment. What is around you, noticing that. And then you're going to listen. You're listening to what the sounds are for you of success, of love. You're listening to your internal dialogue of what you are telling yourself. When you have accomplished what you wanted to do, when you have birthed yourself, what is the voice that tells you that you have done it? What do you hear inside your head? Maybe like, I did it. Or wow. Or well done. Whatever that voice is, what do you hear yourself saying? And what might you hear from somebody else that lets you know that you have arrived, that you have changed, that you have created what your heart desires, your heart and soul desires? Maybe you hear something from somebody else saying, maybe congratulations, or I love you, or well done. And so you're just noticing what voice comes from the outside, from someone else. And you're also listening for the sound of inside your bubble. Is it quiet? Is there music? Is there laughter? Is there applause? So just noticing the quality of the sound inside your success, inside your love bubble. And then what you want to do is notice how you're feeling. Feeling now that 6 months, by the end of the year, by the end of 2018, you have arrived, you have birthed the next version of yourself. You're smiling, you're happy. What is the feeling inside your body? Is it light? Is it energetic? Is it bubbly? Is it joyful? Is it grateful? What is the particular quality or feeling inside your body when you have achieved what you wanted, when you have created your heart's and soul's desire? So just noticing, how does it feel in your body? And so what we've done is we're just taking an inventory of what you see, what you hear, and what you feel. And here comes the fun part. What I'd like you to do with your hands is I want you to scoop up the contents of all that you saw, felt, and heard into your hands, as if there's a quality, a substance to it. It's actually really tangible. You can feel it in your hands. And I want you to take the contents in your hands and bring it into your body, however you want to place it. Maybe just bring your hands right over your heart. Maybe you want to bring it like it's a lotion in your body. Just bringing this bubble, all the contents, into your body right here, right now. Allowing yourself to receive it, to feel it, anchoring it. And then when you feel ready, you can open up your eyes. That was wonderful. And I suggest that you take some time, either now or after this class, which it's almost over, or you can pause it. But what I suggest you do is I suggest you write down what you saw, what you felt, and what you heard. And then when you have some time, I invite you to draw your bubble. not like it's meant for anybody else but for you. And so symbolically, you can have a visual representation of your love bubble, of your success bubble. And just draw a circle and then any of the contents in there. And then this can be a tool for you as you are birthing the next you. This becomes a tool because you can ask yourself, am I in my bubble or out of my bubble? And you can place your bubble on your altar or by your bed. So when you wake up, you can look at it. And the idea is, excuse me, the more you can step into that vibration of what you saw, felt, and heard in your love bubble, the easier it is going to be to manifest, to have it come true. So the bubble becomes a tool that when you find you're not in the bubble, then you get to ask yourself, well, what's in my way? And what do I need to do today to get into my bubble? And that's where you can use the tapping, because maybe it's some fear has crept in, or maybe it's some doubt or some worry. So whatever it is, anyway, this becomes a tool that you can play with. So I think that I've totally lost track of time, but I really hope that this was beneficial for you. And I'd love to hear how it was for you. And I guess how I'd like to end is with my star mantra. And so I'm going to invite you to tap along with me. And this is my star mantra, is to surrender, trust, accept, and receive. And so let's just do that together. We'll just tap on our collarbone. I surrender. I trust. I accept. And I receive. And one more time. I surrender. I trust. I accept. And I receive. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me. And I'll be connecting with you via email. And you should have received some attachments along with this recording. So you can print those attachments out. And I'm wishing you well. And I am hoping that you had a great faith lift. And I wish you much success and love, peace, and blessings. I love you all. And with that, I say aloha.